It's Monday. And you know what that means. It is a little over an hour from November 5th. Super Tuesday, Election Tuesday, Doomsday Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. But bringing you that eternal light is the Flex Zone Podcast, episode 464, giving you more than both candidates combined. And let's just say our reign is longer than 2 terms. We got a jam-packed show. We appreciate you staying up late, but trust me, the main event is worth it. We're previewing the presidential election. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. Where do you stand? How does it play out outside of the presidential race? I think there are a lot more races we got to talk about. We got to talk about what's going on in Congress and the battleground states. We have a political analyst who's going to break it all down for us and tell us where he stands and how things may play out. Of course, we'll go around the NFL. Week 9, heading into Week 10. Ravens, get it done. Commanders, best record since 1996. We'll explain. Game ball, not so game ball. Week 10 picks. And of course, Goofy with Cavante. And as always, make sure you guys subscribe. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. So much to get into. So little time, but we're going to do it here on the Flex Zone. Only place giving you that political coverage and your sports. How you want it, when you need it. The crew's all here. We're revved up. We're ready to go. And so are you. Thank you for joining us. Let's get to it. More anticipated than those election results in a little bit over 24 hours. But there's no shame, no tomfoolery, no missing ballots, because we give it to you raw and straight how you want it, when you need it. The Flex Zone Podcast, fellas, the only place giving you sports how you want it,
when you need it.
Episode 464, giving you more. We're talking about the presidential election, less than 24 hours away from finding out who will be the new president of the United States, maybe longer depending on how the election results come in. We have a jam-packed show. We have a political analyst who's going to break it all down for us. The crew's all here. You're here. We got to talk about the Ravens. Big win over the Broncos. Play on Thursday night, 2 games in 5 days. Commanders doing something they haven't done since 1996. And we got a big live stream planned for you tomorrow. A watch party where all are welcome. But make sure you follow us, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the Flex Zone 1, and of course on TikTok, the Flex Zone Podcast, and of course on that YouTube right here, youtube.com/FlexZone1, FlexZone1@gmail.com. And as always, hit the bell. Know when we're live. We got a lot of content on the channel. We'll get into that throughout the show. And as always, leave a comment down below if you're watching this live. And if you're watching after, leave a comment, leave your favorite emoji. Let us know how you feel. Let's get into it. Enough about me, God's favorite host, back again. Big Raj is with me, and he's ready for the goofiness and the madness tomorrow. But remember, he had a good day because today this brother had it his way. It was the one and only Big Raj. Let's just say he did it double style. Raj, how you feeling, my brother, as I get my sounds together? Because you had this afternoon.
No bread, no water, just hate.
Finish him, Daddy.
That's one big son of a bitch! Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
How you feeling, Raj?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. It was a good weekend. A lot of meat, as you said before, a lot of meat. But we almost ready for the main course tomorrow, man. The main course is coming up. The fate of the country is on the line, and we have plenty to talk about. You know, which candidate's going to win? Is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be Kamala? I mean, who knows, man? But should be fun. Well, and if you're really into it, it's going to be heartbreaking for whoever side you're on.
This next brother is feeling good. Maybe the best since 1996. He knows what it means. The one, the only voice of reason, the Commandalorian. And we got to play his theme song because he's feeling good. And every week we play it, Raj, they win.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand.
Oh, boy.
Commanders, Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders. Commanders.
Cravante Baby, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling great. Definitely feeling good. 96 was a long time ago, yo. 1996 was a very long time ago. And man, and I'll tell you something, 96, that was some good times, man. I had a lot less responsibilities. I tell you that damn much. Life was a lot easier back in those days, and apparently the football team, Redskins, Commanders, last time they were 7-2. Now, the last time we won, I think the next milestone would be the last time we won more than 10 games in a season was the last Super Bowl season, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be interesting if we can get to 11. So, but I'm feeling good. Things are going well. But tomorrow is a big day, y'all. As you already said, tomorrow's going to be a crazy day. And we'll be here live.
Yes, stay tuned. Working on the times. The way things are going, it may be around this time because the way things are going to be with the polls closing and the times. And our next guest will give us more insight to that because joining us for the first time, don't forget also Trae will be back. I know he's in and out, but Trae will be back with us. So stay tuned. I know you guys want to see Trae. But joining us for the first time, his brother has waited patiently. We got to get him on the show. And what better way to get him on the show than the night before the election? We're less than 24 hours away, literally an hour from the day of the election. Our good brother and friend, Trae Lewis. He's joining us, a freelance writer, a former Baltimore City police officer. He's a United States veteran. Can't forget that. Thank him for his service. And he's identified as both a Democrat and a Republican, right? So we've seen it from both sides. And now, like myself, he is an independent, focused on any candidate or platform that's serious about addressing environmental issues. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, open your ears and have an open mind as we have this wonderful discussion with the good brother, Mr. Trae Lewis, who joins us on the Flex Zone for the first time. Brother Lewis, how you doing? Welcome into the Flex Zone, brother.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing, man? That's some. I like that intro music. I would have came in with better intro music.
Feeling good, brother.
I didn't have the right to the music.
Oh, good, brother. We appreciate you. We're gonna keep the clap going for you. Thank you for being here. So, brother Lewis, let's get to it, man. I know a lot is going to happen over the next 24 hours, and you are the perfect guy to talk to. For those who don't know who you are, let them know who you are, maybe a little bit about your background, and kind of how are you feeling with the election a few hours away and finding out how this is going to play out.
Yeah, let me. I think I finally get my camera going. Let me see. But even if
let me see. He's getting his camera together. Let's see.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Oh, hold on. I think he's joining from another device, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get that together. But make sure you guys, while we wait for him, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let me see if this works. Let's try now. How about now, Mr. Lewis? Is this better?
All right, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I'm not going to try the camera. I'm just going to talk to y'all audio.
Okay.
Hey, brother, we appreciate the audio, man. Like I told, we told the people, open their ears, listen in, don't be biased, have an open mind. Let people know who you are, kind of your background, and kind of how you feeling with the election. Really less than an hour away from the actual day, and really less than 24 hours to find out how this may play out.
You know, it's kind of crazy because it's kind of unbelievable we're in this position, meaning that the drastic representation of candidates. You know, we have a person who led a insurrection and a terrorist attack on our U.S. Capitol 3 years ago, and they're running for president. So, you know, it's a crazy situation that person is the legitimate candidate. I'm nervous that enough of the country doesn't have enough logic to not vote for him. But I still think at the end of the day, I think Kamala's going to pull it out. And I think she's going to pull in some states that surprise us all. I don't know which ones. I'm not going to go that deep down the rabbit hole, but I actually think she's going to pull it out. I think we're still going to be disappointed. Too many people are going to vote for Trump in places where they shouldn't be voting for him. But I still think Kamala's going to pull it out.
I want to ask you real quick before the fellas get into it about the battleground states. A Democrat has not won the presidential election without winning Pennsylvania since 1946, Mr. Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I know Kamala was there today. She hit the whole PA tour, Philly, Pittsburgh, et cetera, et cetera. Trump was in North Carolina, which he's won the last 2 times, looking to win it 3 times in a row. And in Michigan, a lot of the Arab culture is a heavy Arab culture in Michigan as well. And then also in Nevada, a lot of Hispanic and Latino voters, a lot of division there with them in that state as well. How do you see some of these battleground states? Arizona, we know, is always goofy with their policies and what they do out there with their things. I mean, it's a lot going on with these battleground states. I think that is going to decide the race. I mean, I'm not really breaking any news here, but how do you feel about some of these states, how they could play out even?
So I don't know what was the strategy behind. I don't care about the Trump strategy. I care about more the Harris because I want her to win, obviously. But I'm curious to see if the Harris campaign broke down why some of these places are battleground states. What I mean by that is that why is Wisconsin a battleground state and not Ohio anymore? Ohio was a battleground state just a couple of years ago, right? So that I know that it kind of doesn't directly answer your question, but that kind of goes into what I'm trying to say is that what I think the strategy would be is to identify if these places are battleground states, I would identify why they're battleground states. And what I mean by why is who. So who are the people that are most liking to put me in, not as opposed to who I'm trying to battle for, right? So for Harris, I would think that, again, when we're talking about out West, we're talking about probably Latino voters as far as the battleground states. For the East Coast, we're talking probably quote unquote blue collar white voters, or particularly probably uneducated, meaning no 4-year college degree white voters. So when it comes to that, the most important thing for her, meaning Harris, is going to be is what type of messaging resonates the most for those people in those communities, right? So understanding what those communities are really talking about is important. So what I mean by that, for example, is Nevada, okay? So Nevada is labeled as a battleground state. Most people would assume battleground state, West, closer to the border, even though it's not directly on the border with Mexico, probably Latino issues, immigration. When in actuality, the most issues are probably going to be really economic because some of the highest costs in living jumps have been in the state of Nevada, really nationwide. I mean, some places in some counties in Nevada have experienced some great increases in cost of living. And of course, this isn't because of the Biden-Harris economy. It's because it's a direct reflection of the pandemic, because these counties are where Reno and Las Vegas are. So recreational places went down because of the pandemic. And so thus the economies in those areas were hit, and then everything else kind of spiral out of the case. So I'd wrap up to say, not to be long-winded, is wrap up to say is that I hope, and I think she did, of course I don't live there, is that in these battleground states, what Harris needed to do, because Trump doesn't have to do anything really, unfortunately, his message doesn't change. For Harris, though, in these battleground states, the most important thing for her would have done is identify what those people are truly resonating with and making sure her message hits strongest with what they truly resonate and what they truly care about, not what polling or national media says they care about.
Go ahead, Cravante.
So I just want to make sure I want to be clear, and I want to make sure the audience is clear. By battleground states, you're referring to the states that flip-flop, I guess from presidential election to presidential election. They don't typically vote one particular way.
Right. I would say I would agree with that. I would agree with the flip-flops as being that I don't know what the political scientists use, but I would say probably no more than 2 presidential election cycles, you can rely on that state, right? So, like, for example, my home state of Maryland pretty much always votes blue,
Right.
whereas I live in Texas, it always votes red, right? So, but you do have states like Pennsylvania or Virginia or North Carolina, they don't know what they're doing sometimes. So that's why we say it.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted that because I've never heard that actually be described or defined.
That's true. That's true. It's not, and that's a good point, because it's like loosely just thrown out there, right? Battleground state and statements like no one even gives any context of what that really means. Because technically, shouldn't every state be a battleground state, right? Every state should be a fight for the presidential election, but that's neither here nor there.
Right. So, so I'm glad we were able to define that and put, some terms that people can understand. So what's up with, how do you think, and this is from recent events, how is Trump going to fare with with Puerto Rico now?
So here's the thing, man. For the life of me, I don't see. I've been to Puerto Rico before. It's a lovely country. For those who haven't been, and I have gone before the devastation of Hurricane Maria. So I don't know what it's like now, but it is a very beautiful place to visit if you ever get a chance to get down there. But for the life of me, the presidency of Trump was never favorable to Puerto Rico. He intentionally diverted resources and hurricane relief efforts. And the reason why Hurricane Maria was so devastating, like it was in 2017, the disparaging remarks that he's made continuously against the whole entire Latino community, and of course, most recently, directly against Puerto Ricans. I don't understand for the life of me how anyone would vote for him, but there are going to be Puerto Ricans that, of course, not in Puerto Rico. I think to just be clear, people in Puerto Rico that live in Puerto Rico can't vote, but Puerto Rican citizens living in the United States can vote for president. That's very weird, but that's the way it is. So for those Puerto Ricans living in the United States, I'm very curious to see, or I'm very curious to know if that person is truly leaning towards Trump out of all the things that he's done to the island and all things he said to the Puerto Rican people. Because it's not just rhetoric. Trump has not just used rhetoric against Puerto Rico. Let me be very clear about this. He intentionally harmed the territory for racial reasons. And the reason why the state, even 2 years after Hurricane Maria, most of the state was still, most of the territory was still recovering from the storm. So it is very interesting to see if someone who has true, authentic Puerto Rican roots would still vote for someone who intentionally caused harm to their island.
How do you think Trump came back from 4 years ago? Everybody thought he was dead in the water once he led the insurrection to the White House, and the pandemic, got out of hand. How do you think he's the candidate again, or why do you think he's the candidate again?
I mean, it's the same reason why he was the candidate in 2016. Racism. I mean, that's just, when it comes down to it, it just comes down to he's a bigoted man who allows other bigoted people to be free to choose to allow their bigotry to roam free. That's what it all comes down to. Basically, Trump is the answer to the other answer, or he's the answer to quote unquote political correctness, to DEI, to everything that makes certain people itch. And so that's their champion. He is never going to back down. He's never going to say anything. He's never going to come back. He's never going to pull a Mark Cuban where Mark Cuban says, Trump supporters are garbage, and he goes on some podcast or whatever and apologizes. Trump is never going to apologize. He's never going to back down from the most crazy, outlandish, bizarre, unfactuated, unfounded things he'll ever say, and his supporters love it. So that's the reason why. I mean, it's not really hard. What's disappointing is so many people are onto it. It's like so many people love candy corn. I don't know why so many people love candy corn, but it's a disgusting candy. And I don't know why so many people love Trump. He's a disgusting man.
What do you think Kamala is going to do for this country if she gets the W tomorrow? Well, Not tomorrow, but in the coming days, because it might take a while.
I would say, yeah, it's probably gonna take a while.
Yeah, it probably will take a while. I think I actually do believe that like the first immediate days, the easier stuff, she's going to at least initially do. Like she'll try to put in probably some type of, price gouging bill. She'll definitely put in some type of reproduction act or something like that, or something of that nature to codify some type of abortion rights nationally. I think that she will address like those immediate hot button things, but those hardcore systematic things that people think she's just going to fix overnight, like for example, the economy. People need to understand that the economy is it's not a book that you can check out. And the president can check out his or her economy book and then put it back when they leave office or whatever. That's not how it works. So, the president can stimulate the economy, and they can make certain actions that will stimulate or not stimulate, but some overall arching thing, I think it's going to be unfair to expect that she's going to be able to immediately put these systematically rooted things in. Because remember, Joe Biden tried it. People forget that Joe Biden tried everything from student loan forgiveness to clean energy deals, but they were shut down or they were overturned by some Republican judge. So I fear the same thing, probably even worse, because she is a woman from Colorado. I can see the state I live in Texas, where if she goes on day one, she codifies and they codify reproduction rights. I can see on day two this state suing her, and then it being some mushy thing for where people like me in the state of Texas, we won't receive some of the good things that is done nationwide. You know what I mean? Like I foresee a very, very ugly, litigious fight for everything she does. Everything she does. If she wants to give out lollipops, they'll say that she's trying to infect the country with caviar.
She's trying to poison the water supply.
There's nothing, like seriously, even more so than Obama, she is set up for failure beyond. It's like a quarterback being picked number one, and they're going to what? The worst team in the league, because that's why they got the first pick. Yep. And then you're expecting them to go to the Super Bowl year one. They're in the worst team of the year, the league. Yes, he's good as the quarterback, but the team is bad. And it takes time for that team to catch up with his talent, and you're never going to see it in year one. It never has happened. It can't happen. It's like, just doesn't. So I think it's very unfortunate we live in such a stagnated system in DC, where at this point, it doesn't even matter if laws are passed. Like I told you, Joe Biden did pass an act or try to get student loan forgiveness. It got held up in court, and the Supreme Court turned it down. So even such a great thing like that going through, it died. And now Joe Biden is blamed for it, which is, crazy.
Why do you think there's so much rhetoric going on between both of the sides? I've seen the Democrats turn it up, these past couple of months. When Kamala took the well, not the lead, but she took the spot of Joe Biden, to be the candidate to run for president. Why do you think there's just so much beef, so much intensity going on? It's like now it's at an all-time high now. It's like I've never seen it this crazy, for presidential, election.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the road. If you want to make it street terms, like it's beef, like it's an ongoing beef, and I think it's really clear cut, like two sides. I know people say blue states, red states, but I mean this stuff is real. Like how the way people think, like certain people, very large groups of the population, think it's completely okay to have the 10 Commandments posted up, to not have any liquor after 9 o'clock, have all these very Puritan rules and whatever. And there's another part of the country who's like, no, we don't want that. So the difference is, I think that it's so divisive now because we have governors that have taken social issues and legalized them, right? So you got DeSantis and Abbott taking away DEI and taking away any type of measures in their schools, in Texas and Florida schools, for any type of people of color to have resources. You have it now where DeSantis is basically, putting in Florida textbooks that slavery was something that Black people signed up on in Lincoln. Like, I mean, these are people who are making it so where your individual life, who you are as a person is no longer cool, and they're trying to legislate that out. So it's very, I mean, it's not hard to understand why there's such a strong indignation and such a fervor that people have in this election. Not to mention who the person is. I mean, if it was like Nikki Haley versus Kamala, I don't think it would be as intense. But it's also who the person is. Trump is the ultimate flamethrower of rhetoric. I mean, he every chance he gets, he tries to throw another group and another insult together. I mean, how else would people respond to that? You know what I mean? Like, I just think about that. I mean, how would you respond if you know that the presidential candidate is up there saying stuff like "kung flu virus" and gets away with it? You know what I mean? And I'm just supposed to sit there and be like, "Oh, okay, that's just your opinion in saying that." No, that's beef. No, no, that's some serious words, and they call from serious hands.
Okay. So under the scope of the presidency, there's a lot of things that a president has to concern themselves with. Foreign affairs, foreign policy. Do you think, and on a global scale, just from your experience and what you've seen, how do you think the world and those that we communicate with for various reasons, how do you think they will respond, or do you think they will respond better to Trump or VP Harris?
So I love this question, right? Because a lot of people think, oh, well, if we have a woman commander in chief, all the armies in the world are going to invade us, right? Or something to that effect.
Right.
Well, I mean, the thing is that people need to understand something about world history. About 107% of all wars were started by men versus other men, right? So even some of the most biggest and baddest and boldest men who they thought they were, Joseph Stalin, he was portrayed by another big and bad man who thought he was better than him, Hitler. I mean, so it doesn't really matter if you are a tyrant, if you are a Vladimir Putin, if you are a person who is, I mean, you sleep and you bathe in your own narcissistic ways, then it doesn't matter who the commander-in-chief is in the opposite aisle. If they're not an ally of yours, they're an enemy. And so I don't think any nation is going to respond differently if Harris was in there or Trump was in there. I think I'm talking about people who already have intentions of already doing the acts of ill in the world anyway. But as far as any new conflict, I actually believe that the world will respond a lot better for Harris than they will with Trump. Because the thing is that Trump is unpredictable. Trump is unpredictable, and he's more irrational than unpredictable, which is probably even more dangerous. And I really believe that if someone intended or wants to invade or do something or bomb something, they're going to do it regardless of our U.S. election. The Syrian civil war has been going on since Obama was in office, and it's going to continue going on. So it doesn't really matter. Some of these conflicts in the world, people need to understand history. Like, some of these conflicts are so deeply ingrained, it really doesn't matter what goes on at in Pennsylvania Avenue. It really doesn't. So, but in a nutshell, I just think that foreign affairs wise, when it comes to historical people trying to do historical things, it doesn't matter who's in their way, they're going to do it. It's just a matter of how successful they're going to be.
How do you see some of these other races playing out, Mr. Lewis? I know we got a lot of congressional implications. Republicans have control of the congressional aspect, which passes a lot of the laws that we want to see done. How could that play out with maybe having a Democratic representation as president or having Trump as president? We got Larry Hogan and Angela Alsobrooks going at it here in Maryland and various other states with implications for things that are very important outside the president.
That's a good point, because unfortunately, I think Americans aren't, I shouldn't say Americans, that sounds bad. That sounds elitist. Sometimes I think the media doesn't do a good enough job of giving as many coverages as possible. Like, for example, ESPN covers all the sports, right? But the fact is that if it's not a midterm election, if it's a presidential election, for the most part, the media the national outlets only goes on the federal level when the presidential election, which I think is really unfair. Because to your point, one thing that it has to be told is well, this Republican-controlled Congress, but what have they been doing for 2 years? I can answer that. Nothing. In fact, the Congress people, there's a congressman here in Texas who has openly said many times that the Republicans that are running for House shouldn't run for re-election because we have done nothing. We haven't served the American people. They have focused more time, more efforts on banning drag shows and books than doing anything that resembles governance. So I think what has really failed the American people is telling how awful Congress is and telling them how awful these people that are quote unquote representatives, that they do nothing, that they get nothing done, and that half their time is spent campaigning and the other time is spent not campaigning, but to campaign for the next campaign, but to get ready for the next campaign. So I like that question because it's like it's unfair to American people. Like, we don't really get any national true coverage of races that will affect us. Like, even though the Senate race here in Texas is for our Senate, trust and believe, if Colin Allred, who is the Democratic candidate, he wins, that's a major shift to a degree in politics, right? Even if Kamala wins or not. So to your point, I think some of these state races that are not being highlighted like they should, that are real dire consequences, because a lot of these states, like I said, for Texas, I'm being kind of selfish because I'm here, but it does have a true play on the national and state landscape, particularly because of the Senate. Because like I said, if Ted Cruz, a longstanding Republican, and quite frankly, the two senators, the Republican senators of Texas have had it in lock for a pretty long time. If that should ever shake, and with this election, I mean, that's a big thing. And particularly if you get Harris in, and now she has a senator from Texas that she can rely on, that's a big thing. It's a big thing.
How do you currently feel about your party? I understand that Trump is the candidate, of course, but after he's gone, like, who do you think is up next? Do you think JD Vance could be a potential presidential candidate? Do you think Vivek Ramaswamy could be one? I mean, where do you stand at after Trump is gone these next 4 years?
Well, I mean, I know what they're going. More than likely, what the Republican Party seems to be okay with is obviously putting the most extreme person out there. But you got to do it with tact, right? Because DeSantis tried to be Trump and it failed, right? So there's clearly a certain personality attachment, just like Obama has, right? There's a certain swagger, charisma, the whole package that Obama has that people gravitate towards that on a very negative opposite end people do for Trump. So to that point, I think the core of MAGA lives on, unfortunately, but I think it comes in a different form. I think it comes in the form of Nikki Haley. It's going to diversify. So it's going to come in the form of a Tim Scott. It's going to come in the form of a Marco Rubio. It's going to come into the form of these people. Notice I didn't say a white guy. So that is the future of MAGA. The future of MAGA is going to be very hard to tell because it's going to be that guy down in North Carolina, that Mark Robinson guy. It's going to be him. It's going to be it's going to be the preacher. It's going to look like some dude, look like your uncle that you don't invite to the family thing anymore, right? So the fact of the matter is that that's the worst. That's the scary part about MAGA in the future, is that it's not going to be JD Vance. Not always. It's going to be Nikki Haley. It's going to be Marco Rubio. It's going to be Tim Scott, and you're going to be like, what the heck? What am I going to? How do I do that? How do I work with this?
Only like one person from there, and that's my boy Vivek. But it's that's neither here nor there. But who do you think will be up next for the Democrats? I understand, Wes Moore is the governor of Maryland. He might be a strong candidate, maybe in the next 4 years, maybe 8 years. Like who else are they grooming to be that next guy? Because there really hasn't been anybody besides Kamala, of course, since she's the vice president.
I mean, that's it. I mean, she's young enough where it's like, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't looking for another quarterback. Mahomes is it. So if Mahomes loses, they just lose with Mahomes. I think if Harris loses, Unfortunately, what's going to happen though is that there's two things might happen. They will unjustly blame her, and they will probably go, meaning the Democratic Party, will probably shift to a more moderate tone. They're probably going, because they're going to think that they lost because of being too liberal. So anytime Democrats lose a general election, they shift moderately to the right. They did it with Carter. Carter told everyone to wear a sweater, and then people say, "Oh no, we can't do that." Keep oil prices down, and then they voted him out and they voted in Reagan. The thing is that America as a whole and the Democratic Party, generally speaking, after they lose an election, they go more conservative. You saw it in 2000. In 2000, when Gore lost to Bush, they go more conservative. You even had quote unquote liberal senators like John Kerry and Senator Clinton voting for the unjust invasion of Iraq. So that's what happens, unfortunately. So what you're going to see is whoever's the most, to live, the core four, anyone not associated with that, if they lose. Now, if the Democrats win, then you're going to probably see a whole new crop of different people trying to come up, because that's what happens when the Democrats win. When Democrats win, you see an ushering of new, right? You see a lot of different people coming up in the ranks behind that in that leadership. That's what happens with the Democrats. Democrats, when they win, they usher in a new wave. You know what I mean? That's their thing. When they lose, they go home and they regroup, and they think they didn't do enough, and they change their playbook and all that type of stuff. Where the Republicans don't do that. When they lose, they go harder. They go harder. They couldn't run the ball. The next game they're gonna run it even more. That's what they did.
What do you think is going to change after this election is over with? No matter who wins, do you think there's going to be a major change somewhere, or do you think everything is just going to remain the same and it's just all talk from either side?
People need to take notice of what happened in 2020. You know what I mean? There was you saw turnout increase. You saw young people starting to vote again. You saw a lot of people who weren't registered in certain enclaves registered. I think you're seeing people more and politically involved. I think whatever you see, and that's why, going back to your beef question, people are involved now. People, because of whatever reason, well, not whatever reason, for a lot of reasons, right? People are more politically involved. They might not be more politically savvy or educated. I didn't say that. I just said they're just more politically involved. And so with that, you're going to have more engagement, particularly because engagement politically now is so ubiquitous, right? It's everywhere. It's in sports. NFL's like, go out and vote. Your musicians are endorsing candidates. Your favorite brand is endorsing certain movements. So the political ways of the world, I think, is just going to be amplified after this election. Because, like I said, the MAGA people aren't going away. And what's going to happen is that with Harris, with any Democratic election, you always usher in, because she's a woman, you're probably going to see a more increase of women activism. I think that's what realistically could happen after the election.
Anything, Gravante or Byron?
I was going to try to transition to. I know you're down in Texas. Are you following any of the teams out there, or kind of your thoughts on the NFL this season? I see the Chiefs just won again; they're undefeated.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, my homies killed me on my fantasy. But y'all, I think the AFC looks really good. I know y'all Ravens fans up there. I got a lot of family that are Ravens fans, but the Ravens look really good. Chiefs look good. I mean, they're undefeated. The AFC is really tight. I love what the Texans doing. We lost some studs, right? We lost Diggs for the year. Nico Collins might be coming back soon. So I think it's gonna be fun. I'm also, and there's so many X Factor teams in the AFC. The Chargers and Steelers are my two X Factor teams, because you got, these two clubs going it the old school way, sort of. They got a solid, reliable quarterback, and Herbert, and whoever is up there in Pittsburgh, I think it's Wilson now. And then they run the ball, and they got effective passing. So it's really, and they play defense. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes up the AFC. The NFC, the NFC, man, that's interesting too because the NFC West is so good, but the NFC North is just as entertaining too. I think Philly is pretty solid in the East. And then down south, I mean, there's not much to write home about. I mean, I know the Falcons. He got some weapons. They got some great players, but besides them or Tampa Bay, I don't see much from the NFC South. But I think it's been a good season. I think I think would you all agree? I think that it's been a good season. A lot of parity. You know what I mean? A lot of what I've also loved to see. Last point is I love these young receivers that are making impacts on their team so quickly. You know what I mean? We talking about some of these guys are second-year players. Zay Flowers with the Ravens, and he's cooled down a little bit, but he's a rookie. Malik Neighbors with the Giants coming in with like 20 targets a game, something stupid like that. So I think for this NFL season, I've been really impressed by the offensive skill positions, the quarterbacks and the receivers particularly coming out of college, just automatically being impactful for their offense. I mean, I think someone's a Commanders fan.
Woo!
I mean, what Daniels is doing, man, it's ridiculous, right? I mean, that Hail Mary pass, that poise and calm that he had moving around the pocket and just delivering a pristine pass. And I mean, I like the kid a lot. I saw, one last thing about Daniels to the shout out to the Commanders fan. That was my lifelong team, by the way. I grew up and died. I was a burgundy gold to the end. I've watched those bastards for years disappoint me. So I even had a Jason Campbell jersey at one point, man.
Wow.
I take it back. I took it back. JC was my boy. But the thing is, what I liked about Daniels is that when I saw one of those QB drill things that got in the summer, right? Everyone was looking at Caleb, everyone was looking at Bo Nix and Drake May. But there was something different with the Daniels. Daniels had, to me, when people talked to him, he had sort of like how should I say it? Sort of like an oracle approach about him. Like basically, he was responding as if like y'all must not know what's going to happen, and I like that. You know what I mean? Like I like the fact that he pretty much took how many wins did the Commanders have last year? 3 wins? And they're 7-2 now? Something like that? I mean, it's,
I think it was 4. Was it 3?
4. It was 4.
3 or 4?
4?
Yeah, 4.
And listen, I was there every single game for RG3. What was our running back? Our rookie running back at the time? Man, who was it?
Alfred Morris.
So, they went the rookie class together. I was there for that, right? And then we all know what happened at Ravens game with the knee. But I love this season. I really do. I love this season. I'm not following basketball just yet. I think it's disrespectful to be too involved in NBA this early in the season.
We agree.
Yeah. College hoops to keep it real. This might be the first year where outside of the flag kick from Duke, I might only pay attention to the women. Like men's basketball, men's college hoops has just been boring lately. I don't know. It's just been boring lately.
It has fallen off. Yeah,
it's fallen off. I mean, it's been boring. So I know I'm going all around the horn, but back to football. Great season. I don't think Daniels is an MVP, but obviously Offensive Player of the Year.
Go ahead, Dre.
You said Offensive Player of the Year for Daniels already?
Yeah, I'm giving him that.
Not Derrick Henry yet?
No, because Derrick Henry takes it away from Lamar. So I'm still curious to see who. And someone gave me a dark horse MVP candidate that I didn't even think about this. What do y'all think about this? Jared Goff.
Oh no, that's not a dark horse.
No, he's an MVP candidate.
I said a few weeks ago it's Lamar then Jared Goff. Those are the two right there.
So you got Lamar. So I have actually Mahomes still 1. I have Lamar 2, Golf 3, D-Hen 4. That's how I have it.
See, I don't think Mahomes is playing at an MVP level, and I
don't need him to. Don't need him to.
I think that right now they're kind of like where the Golden State Warriors were a few years ago. They're just kind of coasting the regular season, and I feel like when the playoffs come, they're just going to turn it on like they kind of did last year.
Mahomes is having one of those 06 Steve Nash seasons where he's going to be where the MVP, not an MVP as far as like 35 points a game type of MVP, but it's an MVP as far as how he's managing the game and the impact that they have. I mean, come on, look, they're 8-0 and they're only 8-0 because of 15. So, so when you look at it that way, you know, and you look at the fact is that, I mean, look, most of their star receivers got the same amount of touchdowns I do this year, right? So, so I mean, that's a major thing in an air attacking league not to have it. But good points for all those cats. And listen, we don't know. I said a division that's wild and crazy. That NFC West. Listen, if Kyler Murray or even Stafford, because they always give it to quarterback, so there's no point even trying to mention other positions. So the thing is that if Stafford or Murray goes with some crazy run, right, and they win the division, I mean, there's another kid. There's another candidate who could possibly get it.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions, Trae? Since you know,
Go ahead,
came
bro.
in.
Anything else, Trae?
Well, I mean, look, this is my great frat brother, who we do have on, and I'll say this on this platform. Trae is a big part of the reason why I even became a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Seriously,
Thank you.
We had plenty of talks. So he was there before and during the process. So I do appreciate him.
No doubt, Newt. No doubt.
Have you guys already dove into the whole political aspect?
Oh, yes, we did.
Oh, yeah.
We dove in.
We'll give you the last word, though, Dre. I know you didn't get in. We'll give you the last question of you.
Hey, look, my last words would just be: make sure everybody goes out and vote. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent. Just make sure everybody goes out and votes, and make sure that everybody has their say. And that's what I would really just end with.
I would I want to before I close, that's so true. So like I know I said earlier I didn't really go into it. You know, I was a Democrat at one point, identified as Republican as well. The truth be told, I mean, at the end of the day, doesn't, like Drake said, it doesn't really matter the political party. It really matters about the involvement, because the reason why I say that is that there's no way on earth you can even move an inch when it comes to the political process if you don't have the certain people in there who are doing your bidding for you, right? So it's kind of like an auction, right? If you're only going to send a certain person to an auction that knows what they're doing, and they're going to get a good bid for you. So you're not going to be able to do anything politically if you have people in there, whatever their ideology is. If you have people in there who are not about doing business for the people, you're never going to go forward. And I just want people to understand that. Like, you have to vote people in who are going to do stuff, to do the work of government. So, you know, I think people have gotten really, that spark has really kicked off. 2020 was I don't know what the numbers, but 2020 the output was bigger than it was in 2016. And I think based upon these early election numbers, this might be a over 70% turnout. So, you know, it's looking like that. 2020 was 68, something like that. And 15 million people have already early voted or something crazy like that. So, yeah, I think people are starting to get the message. I like that.
Mr. Lewis, how can the people keep up with you, and anything you want to plug, anything you got coming up, anything you want to know about you, brother?
Oh, yeah. Well, my website is my name, TraeLewis.com. And I am a writer. I'm currently putting together a memoir about the time that I was a Black Republican. I was the president of the Baltimore area Young Republicans. The book is entitled Black Elephant, that one crazy time I went Republican. So it's not out yet. Obviously, it's still, I'm still putting things together, but look for that pretty soon. Maybe my debut novel. It's a memoir about what it was like being a Black Republican.
And we got to get you to come back to see how this plays out and get your reaction, or maybe get your recap of maybe the first 90 days in office, and leading into the inauguration and all that goofiness afterwards, because it's always about the first 90 days. You know what I mean?
And then next time I have the video on, so we can all we can all see each other.
Yeah, because we got two bases. You got the Hogan, Angela, also Brooks, and then you got the presidential. Those are the two big ones right now. So.
Absolutely.
Yep. TraeLewis.com. Make sure you guys check it out. Purchase the book. Support the brother. He's down in Texas, but stayed up late with us. And Trae, we got to do this again, brother. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Appreciate you, Trae.
All right, fellas. Y'all take care.
Yes, sir. Once again, everybody, give it up for Trae. One more time. Check him out, TraeLewis.com. And support the brother. And like I said, open your minds and have an open mind. As like he said, it's not about which side you lean on. It's about getting people in there who are going to get things done. And with tomorrow, we'll be getting things done as well. As we will be live for the presidential election results somewhat being revealed. I know most places polls close around 8 p.m. West Coast time, about 10 p.m. our time. So we will see how it plays out. So hit that bell to know when we go live tomorrow, and we'll be keeping you updated as always. But speaking of taking care of business, there was a lot of business being handled yesterday down at M&T Bank Stadium, and the Ravens sent those Broncos back to Denver with one less leg, as there was a lot of this.
Finish him, Daddy.
Jilly Drake, the Ravens get it done in dominant fashion, beat the Broncos 41-10, win, now get to 6-3, host Cincinnati on Thursday. Derrick Henry, 101 career touchdowns. Now Lamar Jackson, 4th career perfect passer rating game, tied with Ben Roethlisberger for the most all time. So he may break that this season. Derrick Henry joins LaDainian Tomlinson and Adrian Peterson as the only players with multiple 10-plus touchdowns, seven or more 10-plus touchdown seasons. And the Ravens and John Harbaugh improved to 27-7 against rookie quarterbacks. And him and Sean Payton had the exact same record, Dre. They were the same coach wins, same number of losses, same number of Super Bowl championships. And John Harbaugh deserves some love. Ravens get it done, Dre. Could have scored 50.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that they would beat the Broncos, but I didn't expect for it to be in that fashion. I mean, that was an ass whooping. I just hope that momentum carries over into Thursday. My fear was that the Ravens would lose a game. I figured it might have been to the Bengals, being that it was a short week in a divisional game. I didn't expect for them to lose to the Browns, but I'm leaning towards probably the Ravens probably pulling this off on Thursday. I know the Bengals this year, they could split with them, but being that they already lost to the Browns, I just don't see that happening again. I am happy with what this team has done offensively, but defensively, still some question marks. And you're hearing rumors about the Chiefs going after the cornerback from, I think it's the
Sean Lattimore.
So the
no,
Ravens, there's a rumor saying that they really are going to make that move. So if they do, that means you would have had a move on offense and defense. So they Ravens have to still make another move out there if you want to still compete with the Chiefs, because the Chiefs at that point, already having D-Hop is like a juggernaut in of itself. But then you make another move defensively. I don't care how good we've looked in the regular season. Playoffs is what matters at this point to Lamar Jackson, and that is a tall order to overcome. And then you even see tonight, though it was a close game, it's really weird how sports works, because the Ravens annihilated the Buccaneers some weeks ago. But then the Chiefs, they take on them, and they're right in the mix of things. But yet the Ravens have issues beating the Chiefs, but can beat everybody else. So that's the thing. You just don't want that team to get even stronger than what they already are. So it was, like I said, it was a great win, but I'm just thinking forward for the Baltimore Ravens.
Raj, I know you was feeling good yesterday. We didn't even have anything to complain about. The shorter the post game, the better.
Yeah, man, it was a good day yesterday, and I don't have that much to add because we did the post game show. So if you want to go back and watch it, go ahead and watch it. But pretty much we took care of business. On to the Bengals coming up this Thursday. I got to see what they do tomorrow. I think the trade deadline is tomorrow. They still need to make a couple moves, or at least a move. Get a pass rusher in here. It doesn't matter who it is, as long as it's as long as they're better than Owe and Ojabo, because they can't seem to do anything at this point. But yeah, they need pass rushing help, the worst. And I just think they need to do what they can do, before that trade deadline is over with. But the offense looked great, like Dre said. The offense looks fantastic. There's going to probably be a shootout again, this Thursday against the Bengals. I expect Joe Burrow not to make a mistake. I expect him to be extremely good, because I know he's tired of getting his behind whipped by Lamar. So I expect it to be a barn burner. But yeah, man, we were looking pretty good after that loss against Cleveland last week. And hopefully we continue to keep moving in the right direction. And also, let me say this, since Dre is on here, I have to give Harbaugh his credit. He actually coached a pretty good game yesterday. He called timeouts when he needed to, got us that touchdown at the end of the half, and also challenged the football. He challenged the football that also caused a turnover in the Ravens' favor. So shout out to John Harbaugh on that. Hopefully you continue to keep doing this throughout the rest of the season. But I give you credit where credit is due.
My only issue with Harbaugh, hey Raj, I just hope he keeps that same energy when they face the Chiefs again, man.
We'll see. Andy Reid owns him, but hopefully he won't if he sees him again.
At some point, the student has to surpass the teacher.
I mean, the same goes with Lamar, because Patrick Mahomes is his daddy right now.
Yikes.
Yes. Big Daddy. Adam Sandler.
Too much.
Finish him, Daddy.
That daddy.
Finish him, Daddy.
Yep.
Great win. Great win.
Kavante, your thoughts on?
Well,
What?
I was just gonna say,
Let's get your thoughts.
Really? Oh, wait. Time out. It says right now ESPN saying best chance for number one seed in the AFC, that it's the Chiefs at 73%, the Bills at 17%, and then the Ravens at 4%. The Bills ahead of the Ravens for the number ones. Get the hell out of here.
They got
I guess, man.
schedule,
I guess,
Dre.
man. I get
Got
it.
Yeah,
tough
the Ravens
schedule,
got
Dre.
extremely tough schedule.
Bengals, Chargers, Eagles. Still got to go
I'm
to
not saying
Houston
we
for
don't have
Christmas.
a tough schedule, but
Pittsburgh
God,
twice.
Bills?
Yeah, well, the Bills got to play the Dolphins twice, the Patriots twice, Jets twice.
Well, the Bills are about to win the division, Dre, next week. They're about to clinch next week.
They about to wrap this thing up by Thanksgiving.
Damn.
But
go ahead. We're good, brother.
But I
Good,
think it was a great win. Much needed win. We all need a game where everything goes right. You know what I'm saying?
The get right game.
You got to have a couple of the get right games, man, because you stress. It's too many stresses throughout the year. You need one of these every now and then to be like, all right, whew. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was all right. This was good. Like when the Commanders played the Panthers, whew. Just breathe. It's gonna be all right, even in Jaden Daniels' absence. But then we got the Bears, where it was a headache throughout, and then we got the Giants, where we pretty much handled them. The score is not a good indication of how close the game really was, but it is what it is. So that's a good victory. The Broncos, I felt like this was going to happen because the Broncos roster as a whole really isn't that good. And and Bo Nix. He played a great first half. First half was cool. You know what I'm saying? That's as good as a first half you can ask for of a rookie quarterback playing the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? So that was good for first half, but come on now, he is a rookie and the roster isn't great. So the Ravens did what they were supposed to do and blitzed them literally and figuratively in the first half. And then what you put up 30, what was 10-10? Was it 10-10 at halftime?
It was no, it was 24-10.
Yeah.
So 2024.
We was up on them.
So, you know, they couldn't take care of some opportunities, but young team, young quarterback. So, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, y'all did what you're supposed to do. This was a whoo, all right game.
Real quick on Bo Nix. I know Dre, you were big on Bo Nix. I gotta give a brother credit, man. He's very athletic. He played well, Cravante, and has the most total touchdowns, more than Jaden Daniels, more than Caleb Williams. Is Bo Nix. He was the offensive rookie of the month, Cravante. I know I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the biggest Bo Nix guy coming out, but he's showing me something and really looks like a mini Josh Allen, if you ask me.
So no, I wasn't either. I was not a Bo Nix guy. I think Dre was the only one on the panel that really was a Bo Nix guy. I thought he was okay. Oh, my bad. I
was a Bo Nix guy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna be one of those ones that, you know, not as good as Jaden Daniels, but I thought he was gonna be pretty solid, which he is. So
I thought Bo Nix had to go to a specific place. I didn't think he can go anywhere and be good. I think that he had to go to a situation where a guy like Sean Payton, under his tutelage, he can really grow from that. I don't think he could have went anywhere and just been great, like a Caleb Williams or, you know, or a Jaden Daniels even. And honestly, Caleb Williams, Eberflus is out of there, so that's not really saying much.
No, but I mean, I thought you made, you know, fair points when you were doing your we were doing our draft special. I just felt like this was a good quarterback class overall.
Yes.
And that's not to say that, you know, I believed in Bo Nix, but he was like maybe like fourth on the list, I think, or third or fourth. I can't remember the exact list.
It was Caleb, Jaden, Drake May, and then it was
Michael Penix,
and then it was Bo Nix. Five. So Bo Nix was five.
Right, so
and then JJ McCarthy also, who looked well in the preseason, but he's hurt.
That's what it was. We had
JJ was before Bo Nix too, right?
Yeah. We had JJ doing better than Bo, and then because we said Penix wasn't going to play this season,
right?
And Drake May was his situation with the Patriots. We were just like, nah. But I mean,
he doesn't look bad though. Drake hasn't looked bad. Drake May hasn't looked bad though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the situation he's in. But I think right now, I mean, all the rookie quarterbacks are you know, coming along really nicely. Jalen, it was between Jalen or Caleb for Rookie of the Year, and it looks like Jalen will probably get it right now, which is cool. You know, the Commanders are way ahead of time, and then it's just the Bears. We just kind of, you know, it's about the coaching. You already see how coaching is. I mean, the Jets, they fired their head coach. Their defense isn't the same. The Saints, after starting 2-0, then lost 7 straight and fired their head coach. So sometimes, you know, when teams start 2-0 or 0-2, we can't look too much into it. Look, the Ravens started 0-2, and then look at them now. You know, so I don't never really get caught up on that. I always, you know, this is around this time when you're going into Thanksgiving. Now you're going to really see the teams separate who you think are probably going to at least get to the conference championship game.
Well, Cravante, let's go back to you and let's go up north past Baltimore to New York as the Washington Commanders defeated the New York Giants. 27-22, improved to 7-2 for the first time since 1996. Cavante, I know you want to let the good people know what we did yesterday and let them know what to look forward for in the future, but they didn't see what we did yesterday. How are you feeling today? And I know Dre wasn't up here, so it's only right.
Those haters can't stand us. Left
There it is. There it is right there. There it is right there. There it is right there. Yeah.
Commander, we fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders. Commander.
Gotta love the energy.
That's right. That's right. That's it. That's what I look for. That's what I look forward to right there. That's it. The Raj and Dre combo. That's what I look forward to. But please, guys, if you haven't done so already, check out my reaction video of the Commanders alongside Byron. Moving forward, I'm going to do my very best to try to get a pregame show in moving forward. I like doing reactions. I like covering reactions, especially when if I have the opportunity, if I do it by myself, that's just what it is. I don't go too heavy or too nuts or anything crazy because this is new. But moving forward, I'm going to dive into some pregame and post games moving forward. And since the Ravens play on Thursday this week, hopefully me and Byron could get together and run it back on Sunday. So if you guys haven't checked that out, please check out the last post game for the Commanders and the Giants. Man, 1996, much simpler time, guys. I'm sure it was a much simpler time for all of us. The responsibilities were few and playtime was in abundance, huh? And that was the last time the Commanders was 7-2. This is crazy. I was saying earlier that I think the last time we won more than 10 games was 91, if I'm not mistaken, which was our championship, the last championship year, if it was the 91 season going into 92, which was when the Super Bowl was played. So I think we have an opportunity to actually get to 11 wins, depending on how our battle goes with the rest of the division. But the way Dallas looking, not too worried.
I'm about to say your best bet is probably splitting with the Eagles.
That's what I'm saying. Go 5-1, go 5-1 in the division. Hell, the Eagles might mess around and go 5-1 too. You know what I'm saying? So splitting at this point, we have a slightly better record. So splitting with them would be great going down the stretch. But this is one of those games where the Commanders, I look forward to the game because I thought the Commanders, this is the game we're supposed to win. This game we're supposed to win, and we won it, and we won it pretty much handily. Again, the score is not an indication of how close the game was. If we needed to score again, we were right there. And Daniel Jones, I don't think he had any passing yards going into halftime. So, and Caleb Williams, I don't think he had 0, right?
Yes,
and
0
I think,
passing yards.
And last week, Caleb Williams had 38 passing yards going into halftime. So Daniel Jones, not much to speak about. The Giants as a team is not much to speak about, but you guys know as well as I do that those divisional games get a little funky, right? So we can't take the Giants lightly because they are not good. We have to play them like everybody else because they're divisional opponents. They know us very well. Last time we played, we won with 7 field goals. You know what I'm saying? So we did improve moving forward. We put the ball in the end zone a few times, which is great. We need that momentum moving forward. Offensively, when we needed it, we got it. No Brian Robinson, no problem. Seems like our running game is still pretty potent when it needs to. And my heavens, that offensive line looks really good. So our center, Tyler Biotish, I believe is how you pronounce his name. They call him Tyler Badass. He got a name, guys. he got a nickname. They call him Tyler Badass. Okay. Wiley on the right as a right tackle. I gave him a lot of flack last year, a whole lot of flack coming from Kansas City and then coming here playing like hot dog water. So I had a problem with that, but he's shaping up. He's shaping up on the right side. Cosme playing at right guard. He's looking like an all-pro right guard. Allegretti is on the left, is at left guard, and at left tackle, our rookie, third round pick, who was splitting with Cornelius Lucas at left tackle. They were. I don't know if you guys noticed, but at left tackle, we were flip-flopping left tackles. Like Lucas would play a drive, then a rookie would play the next drive. So they was pretty much 50-50 on snaps. Lucas was inactive because he had a I forgot what injury he had, but he was out. He was inactive. So that meant our rookie was going to play full time. So I was concerned because we got guys like Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Williams, on that D line. That's the best part of the Giants team is that defensive line. And I think they played pretty well. I talked about this in the post game. No sacks, no interceptions, no turnovers. That's all I want out of my young quarterback. Get the ball out your hands. He had 200 yards. I think he only threw like 19 passes, 200 yards, no sacks, no interceptions. Great game. Get in, get out. You won on the road, a place where we haven't won in I couldn't tell you how long. So that was good moving forward. Got the W, got in, get out. Defense did what they were supposed to do. Again, Daniel Jones is not a great quarterback by no stretch of the imagination. Our secondary is not great, but we held up. We did what we had to do. I love our linebacking core. I love our D line. We don't have no big names, but we get pressure when we need it. Cornerback is a concern. That's why when you guys were talking about Marshawn Lattimore, I'm like, no, don't. I want him in DC. It's three guys that I would like at cornerback: Denzel Ward, Marshawn Lattimore, and J.C. Horn. Any of those three, I am a happy guy going into the back half of the season because cornerback is our position of need. If we can enhance the pass rush, by all means. But the cornerback position needs to be addressed. Thankfully, we played Daniel Jones, so it wasn't that big of a deal, moving forward. But next week, next week, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers coming to town with those terrible towels, and they are going to invade Northwest Stadium, and that's an elite level defense. So our offensive line, our quarterback, is going to be really, really tested. I hope Brian Robinson plays because we're going to need him. Absolutely going to need him. And Russell Wilson, if he's clicking on offense, we're in trouble. Definitely in trouble.
Russell, last name Wilson?
I'm a huge Commanders fan this week. That's for sure.
Woo!
Huge.
Woo! Woo!
Yes, we will have Cravante's preview.
Yeah.
And his post game. I'm not sure if I'll be with him for the preview, but we will be live on Sunday. No Ravens because we'll be live Thursday after Commanders Steelers. Cravante and myself will be live talking about the game as well as recapping the week's scores and all the big headlines and things that come out of the day of as we head into week 10, guys. So it'll be fun heading towards, like Dre said, Thanksgiving and the playoff push. Let's go around the NFL and get those game balls, hit on some of the quick storylines in the NFL. Like Dre said, we got a coach fired today. We got a quarterback injured. So let's get into it real quick. Started on Thursday. The Texans lost to the Jets 21-13, guys. Are the Jets still alive? A simple yes or no. Anybody can feel free to jump in.
I can't believe this, but yeah.
Sure.
Yes, they're still alive. They're still alive.
Favorable
schedule. They're still alive for a playoff spot, but that division is a wrap.
Oh yeah, playoff spot. Yeah, we Ben said that for them, wild card had to be.
Yep.
We had the Falcons continue their winning ways, beat the Cowboys 27-21, 6-3, pretty much their division as well. Dak Prescott, hamstring injury, will miss multiple weeks. I think the Cowboys are done. That we can agree on.
They need to be big sellers. And you know what? I would love to have Micah Parsons in the Ravens uniform. But anyway, this neither here nor there. The Dallas Cowboys season is over with.
Man, you know Michael Parsons want to come with his boy Dan Quinn, baby.
In division trade, I don't think that's happening.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Jerry Jones ain't get. He's too prideful. He ain't getting rid of no Michael Parsons.
No, absolutely not. But the Falcons are playing some good ball, man.
Bills beat the Dolphins 30-27 in the last second field goal.
The Dolphins is in the same boat. I would say the Dolphins is in the same boat as the Jets, fighting to hopefully make a playoff spot. But yeah, the Bills, that division is done. They have it already.
A very ugly game. It was some ups and downs, but the Bills found a way to pull it out. And Tua did not. Tua played pretty well.
Still
Trae, any thoughts on the Bills?
Bills are going to wrap it up by Thanksgiving, literally.
Real quick, we had the Bengals, Trae, over your Raiders, 41-24. Joe Burrow, 5 touchdowns, and they're coming to Baltimore Thursday.
I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. How about that?
Exactly. Did what he's supposed to, and they better had, because you got the Ravens on a short week, and you lost. You got embarrassed by the Eagles last week, and got the Ravens this week. You better had through 5 touchdowns going ahead of this Baltimore game.
All I gotta say is Macaulay Culkin dressed up as Joe Burrow for Halloween.
Finally, I've been saying it since he's been drafted.
I'm nervous about Thursday. I was nervous when the schedule came out, so I'm still nervous, but we'll see what happens.
You know, this is the 3rd year in a row they played him on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I've been in both. I've been in almost every game. So they won every game.
They'll be debuting the new helmets as well. So we'll see some new Color Rush Ravens helmet, purple thingies. So we'll see what happens there. And the Harbaugh brother, the other one, beats the Browns, ironically, like the Ravens should have, 27-10. Like Dre said, you can't predict sports, man. It's crazy how things work out.
Jameis Winston, went back to form, and
sure did.
Immediately. The other Harbaugh brother beat him. So there you go.
It wasn't even 12 midnight. My gosh.
Good Lord, the Browns are the Browns. And I think the Raiders, real quick, they fired a bunch of offensive play coordinators, so they're trying to get Shador, so we know that already. The Titans and the Patriots, a matchup of the ages. Drake made those last-second pick, and the Titans win. And I did pick the Titans, baby. As D would say, touchdown Titans. Raj,
I don't got no words for this. Drake May looked okay, but that's other than that, who cares?
How about Mason Rudolph balling for the Titans? Who would have thought?
Oh my gosh, man!
I can't believe he's still starting in the league.
Listen, man, when you were all right backup, when you were all right backup, you'll find work. And Mason Rudolph continues to find work.
Why you saying work?
That's right, man. If you want to keep that money coming.
Real quick, we did see the Commanders over the Giants 27-22. Panthers over the Saints 23-22. Dennis Allen gets fired. Real quick, the Saints are the first team to lose a game after outgaining a team by 150 yards, running for 150 yards, and winning the turnover battle. Teams were 275-0, now 275-1. And the Saints and the Panthers. The Panthers may finish with a better record than the Saints. Dennis Allen, he gone, Dre.
It's a damn shame.
Dre, you stuck? Oh. No, he was stuck trying to figure out how the hell the Saints lost.
No, I'm not. This team sucks.
But you know what? I thought about picking the Panthers in that spot. I thought about it, but I was like, how they gonna score? That's what I was just trying to figure out, how they gonna score. And because Derek Carr came back, I was like, oh gosh. But I thought about it, and they were favored by like 7 points. I was like, how? The Saints were. How?
I never seen such a colossal collapse of a team. I mean, after winning their first 2 games, I've never seen that.
That's why I
That is
said
crazy.
can't get caught up on the record, man. But I
Not
didn't
that
expect
early.
for them. I'll admit I didn't expect for them to be this bad, being that they annihilated Dallas. That was the first team to annihilate Dallas. It was like the Ravens scored 41-10, I think, something like that.
We loved it. We
did love it.
Eagles are getting hot, Cavante. Beat the Jaguars 28-23. I think a certain coach in Jacksonville may be up next on the hot seat.
That is concerning. The Eagles are definitely concerning. It looks like they're hitting their stride. And we kind of figured this would happen when AJ Brown came back. Now that he's healthy, the offense is completely wide open now. They got Saquon Barkley back flipping, not back hurtling people. It's crazy over there. It's definitely wild in Philly right now. And I'm concerned. And Doug Peterson, will he make it through the year? I hope so. But he's definitely out of here by at the end of the year.
Real quick, let's get to another team. The Cardinals are in first place in the NFC West. And like you guys said, the Bears just can't do anything offensively. 29-9, and the Cardinals have a favorable schedule, Cavante. Might have to open up the doors of that train again and let people on board.
Man, listen. I don't know about driving the train, but I'm willing to get on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely willing to get on it because, man, the Cardinals, listen, the NFC West is wide open. The 49ers looking shaky. The Rams are so. And who's the other team? The Seahawks. It's wide open for a team like the Cardinals to swoop in and steal the division. The Bears are probably still a little punch drunk from what we did to them last week, and yeah, they don't look really good right now offensively. It's like they don't have an identity with all those great weapons and Caleb Williams. They don't have an identity, but the Cardinals seem to be getting it together. They're getting into a little groove, so this is good for them moving forward.
Real quick, Trae, they bite kneecaps up in Detroit, Green Bay. They didn't play a game outdoors all season. It's terrible conditions in Lambeau. No problem. They dominate. The game wasn't even this close, 24-14. I mean, they are the best team in the NFC right now.
Hands down, man. Some people keep trying to put the Eagles as that, like the team, the 49ers, but no, it's the Lions and everybody else at this point. The Packers, even in the divisional game, they just dominant, man. Earlier we talked about MVP. Jared Goff definitely belongs in the conversation for what he's been able to do. I don't think that he's had any incomplete passes or anything for like a couple weeks now. So I'm gonna say that.
First off, he threw for 85 yards last game. So
you talk that is the epitome of old school football. We're just gonna run the football.
That's right, man.
But even 85 yards, I'm not mad at as long as it's a W. So keep doing your thing. And but the NFC though, besides the Lions, you don't know who else is going to come out. As much as the Eagles, look good with Saquon Barkley, there's still a lot of question marks about that team. So I think the Lions have just continued to separate themselves, and they've been battle tested as well.
How about
agree?
How about D-Rob, Raj, for the Rams? I know, Dre, you're going to hit your Rams thing, but DeMarcus Robinson, former Raven, one-handed catch. Why can't he do that here?
I don't know, man. I mean, that was 2 years ago. I thought he was out the league. I ain't going to lie to you. I was like, oh, he's still in the league? I was like, oh, wow, he still got a job. Nice. Shout out to DeMarcus Robinson, man. He's still making things happen out there in L.A.
Go Google it.
He's a Super Bowl champion, all right? He was a Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's still making things happen, though, man. So shout out to him. Shout out to the L.A. Rams. I thought they was dead in the water. once all their receivers was gone. But Matthew Stafford making it happen, man. He's making it happen and right back in the thick of things. And also, Mike McDonald, you gotta get that defense together, baby. Gotta get that defense together, man. And you started off good, but now you starting to go down.
Drizzy Dre, go ahead and hit it for the good people, for your Rams.
The Rams, the Rams, the Rams. They're coming, baby.
The Vikings beat the Colts. Flacco started, but the Vikings hold on. 21-13. Vikings look for real, guys. I got to give them that credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they looked all right. They looked all right. They struggled a little bit against the Colts defense, but the Colts defense is nice. Joe Flacco didn't have that much in the tank, to get it done. And of course, if you have Justin Jefferson out there, you better, give him the football because that's what that man does. He's a whole monster out there. So, yeah, Vikings had to rebound after them last couple losses.
Absolutely, Sam Darnold. We saw every part of Sam Darnold. We saw the good, the bad, and the ugly, all in one game. And for them to still be able to pull it out, thank you for the Colts for being a little lackluster on the offense. We saw a lot of Anthony Richardson on the sidelines, which was good because he couldn't have done no better.
Nah, not with the 42% completion percentage. No. Thank you, Mr. Stanley.
Real quick tonight, the Chiefs remain undefeated, 30-24. I mean, Patty Mahomes, he hurt his ankle. I didn't even know that. Came back in.
Who cares?
11 for 13
he's
on
going
third
to play.
down. Travis Kelce, a career high 13 catches, turning back the hands of Tom. Taylor Swift was there, ironically, the night before the election. Say with that what you may.
Of course.
Just this team is not going to D-Hop 2 touchdowns, looking like 2012 again. I mean, what is this? The defense number one in the league, Cavante. What do you do with this team?
You pray. You have to pray before going into this game because the combination of quarterback and head coach is the best in the league. So you're going into the game at a disadvantage somewhere. It's just what they do. Even when they look like they're down, they're never out of it. Like you said, Patrick Mahomes may not look like the usual MVP candidate that he is, but the point of the game is to win because we know they look like the Warriors when the playoffs start. It's like they hit a switch and they have a whole playbook that they ain't touched yet. And they're gonna pull out all the stops when it comes to the playoffs because it's a different animal, different ball game. Spag, as a matter of fact, they probably had the best combination of head coach, defensive coordinator, quarterback in the league. So going into it, you got to pray. You got to pray. But the Ravens finding the way to use Derrick Henry, that I'm looking forward to that matchup the next time it happens because good luck stopping a dynamic Ravens offense. But if there's anybody that could do it, it'll be Spags.
14 straight wins for the Chiefs, by the way.
Damn, 14? Shit.
Yep, including the playoffs, obviously, with the Super Bowl run. So
no, right, of course. So,
yeah.
2 times against the Ravens.
Yeah. But I think they have the Broncos next week, so I believe they'll get to 9-0 next week.
Boy.
As well. We got game ball
between the Bengals and the Ravens. They supposed to lose one of them, and they did it because that's their best threat. Like who else straight up is going to beat them? Like they're going to have to beat them. They're probably going to beat themselves somewhere down the line. Like do they play the Colts this year? Because they always lose to the Colts for some reason. They beat the Raiders.
Let me get the schedule.
What's their schedule look like?
Let me get the schedule real quick before we get the game ball. Not so game ball, Raj. I'll have you lead off. So go ahead, gather your game ball, not so game ball. Real quick, Chiefs schedule for the good people at home. Just straight W's, no L's. Denver at Buffalo. That might be the loss, guys. The week after.
Okay, yeah.
But then again, who knows?
So we got the Chargers, the last Chargers, Bills, and maybe the Steelers.
Yeah.
At most, I see. At most is 3 losses. At most.
And the AFC Championship game is going through Kansas City.
What was that percentage again, Dre?
70,000%.
99.99%. 99.9.
It was definitely like 70.
Oh man. Go ahead, Raj. Get your game ball, not so game ball.
My game ball goes to Lamar Jackson. Another fantastic day. Another passing, uh, perfect passing game by Lamar Jackson. His brother just keeps getting better and better, man. Every time I see him on the football field, he's more calm in the pocket. He's more accurate. He throws people wide open. And if it wasn't for, a couple of drop passes from Bateman and Zay, I mean, he probably could have made all of his throws. But yeah, man, this brother right now is playing at an all-time level at quarterback, and it just seems to get better and better with time. So shout out to his work ethic. Shout out to, the offensive line giving him a lot of time. And also he doesn't have to use his legs as much. So that's even better because we want to preserve those things later on in the season. So yeah, man, he was fantastic. But not so game ball has to go to Jameis Winston. Guess who came back to the field? Oh, Seamus Jameis. Why couldn't he do this last week? Well, he did try to do it last week. We just didn't catch the ball. But three interceptions. Cleveland Browns look terrible as always.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's my goal. Yeah. The dogs was out. The dogs was out, and they was getting their asses kicked. And Jameis Winston, man, he's
in the dog pound too, wasn't they?
Yeah, they was in the dog pound. Definitely Lily in the dog. Yes. But yeah, man, Jameis Winston was terrible. The Cleveland Browns went back to their old ways. I guess they'll play great again when they see us at the end of the season, but who knows? Maybe they might be ready for Cancun by then. But yeah, man, Jameis Winston is terrible, and he gets my not so game ball.
Start low and high.
I'm gonna say my not so game ball would probably go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, Doug Peterson comes back after all this time. He says that he hasn't even seen the statue. That's cap. He won a Super Bowl for that city. You talking about something to see the statue? And then the team just comes out, lackluster. I mean, I don't totally blame the head coach. I just blame the whole culture of the Jags. But it's just not a good look right over there. And then my game ball has to go to, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Arizona because you know what? I'm sorry, not Arizona. I'm gonna give it to the Jets for actually playing a good game for once.
Start low and high, Cravante.
You on mute?
My bad. It's got to be the Dallas Cowboys. Like, how is it not? Like from the beginning of the year to now. Like, and I know the game ball, not so game ball, is supposed to be week to week, but this has just been piling on. It's just been piling on from all the way from when Derrick Henry's too expensive, all the way to now. It's just been piling up and piling up and piling up, and now Dak Prescott, the most expensive player in the world right now, is hurt and out for multiple weeks. Not that they was winning anyway, but he's out for some weeks. That means CeeDee Lamb's production has got to go down. They got Cooper Rush coming up in there. Defense was already not good, so it's all bad for Dallas. Mike McCarthy. What's the record? We gotta check this. What's the record for how many coaches have been fired in season? We gotta find if we could find like some type of record for that, because I feel like Mike McCarthy may not make it. And that'll be 2. And also it's another coach that I'm concerned for.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. So it's because we got 2. We have 2 now because Dennis Allen, Robert Saleh.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McCarthy, I'm not sure is gonna make it. through the year. So I'm just
I
asking.
ain't said coach don't need to make it through the year either.
But I thought about that this year, like before the year started. I'm like, if it goes south, he's out of here. So if we could find whatever their record is, because there might be 3, possibly 4 in season firings, which would be crazy. All right, but that's my not so game ball. Game ball. Yours wasn't Dre. What was yours? 'Cause I know you said the Cardinals and then you took it back.
Oh, Jets.
Okay. Oh, so I'll pick up with the Cardinals. Just taking the opportunity when it comes, man, because you never know when your opportunity is going to come and things will fall into place, because the Cardinals, nobody thought they would be in this position leading the division, especially they share division with the 49ers. Pretty much before the season started, we thought the 49ers and the Lions would be the best teams in the NFC. 49ers have fallen off. Soon they'll have to pay Brock Purdy. And then that's going to pretty much blow them up. And looks like Kyler Murray, is it strange to say, like Kyler Murray may be taking that next step, maturity next step, for the Arizona Cardinals. Welcome, Marvin Harrison Jr. We love having you. James Conner had a great game on the ground, and I don't even think Kyler Murray threw any touchdown passes, and they put up 29 points. Just a full dismantle of the Bears. So I think Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals gets my game ball.
Okay.
Well, Cavante, found on the 2021 season, I know this wasn't in season, there were 10 coaches that were replaced. So that was the year we had, I believe that was Sean Payton, Bruce Arians amongst the names. That was tied with 78, 97, and 2006. So for most coaches replaced. That was after the season, but 10 coaches.
So that's 10 total. And that's how many do we know how many was in season fires?
It's not. Let me see. Last year we had Frank Wright. That was last year.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get a number for.
He got fired so early. We forgot that he was. God damn. He had 10 games, bro. 10 games.
37. Well, now what? 39 with the 2 this year. Since 2000, in which a head coach resigned or was fired during the regular season. So that was just a quick Google search.
Because I'm thinking that record, whatever it is, it's not high. I don't think that number is crazy high, and we could reach and maybe even surpass that number, because we already got 2, and I don't think Mike McCarthy is going to make it through this year. So that would be 3. So how many? Which y'all think? 4, 3?
About 4.
Like in one season, in season,
4 in one season.
Specifically in season hiring.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I can see at least 1 or 2 more. I can see at least one more. At least one more.
Definitely at least one more. Definitely one more.
Dre, you got the picks real quick?
I think I did all right this week. I don't know.
You did. Right now, Carante won this week at 12-2. Byron, you came in second at 11-3. Me and Raj were tied at 10-4. First place overall right now is Carvante at 89-48. Raj is 88-49. You're in second place. Byron, you're in third at 87-50, and I'm in fourth at 85-52.
Still anybody's game. Maybe the closest picks that I can remember in recent memory.
This deep in the season, yeah, you're right.
Yes, right. Ravens.
Good pick on the Titans. That damn Titans pick, Byron. God damn it.
Ravens Bengals on Thursday, guys. Who y'all got? Start there.
Oh, I'm going with the Ravens.
I'm gonna go Ravens. I'm nervous, but I'm gonna go Ravens.
I'm gonna go Ravens too.
Oh gosh, not the Ravens sweep.
Everybody picking the Ravens.
I am picking the Ravens.
I'm only picking them because they at home, and they usually win their Thursday games. So
Giants travel to Carolina to face the Panthers.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to watch this one, Raj.
that's terrible. God damn.
Oh wait a minute, this game's in Germany.
Oh, this is Germany. Oh, this is Germany.
Going with the Giants.
Giants.
I don't know. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I don't know.
What a wonderful representation to send to Germany. Thank you.
Terrible.
I'm gonna say the Giants.
I mean, we were sending the Jags over there when they wasn't good to London.
That's true. They're still not good. They're still not good.
I mean, but the Panthers. No, the Panthers not the next team to go, yo. Are they?
No.
It's a different scenery. Young quarterback. I guess I'm going with the Giants. I don't want to though. If the Panthers win, I won't be mad.
What?
I'll say that.
I should have picked them last week. I'm gonna go with Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is still better than Daniel Jones. I don't care. At me, and I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
He is better than Daniel Jones.
All right,
We'll see. I'm rooting for the brother. We'll see.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad they won. I'm glad he won. He got to win.
Bears got to get right this week against the Patriots, right? I'm going Bears.
No, me too. I'm going with the Bears.
Yeah, go Bears.
Another matchup of rookie quarterback. Caleb got to get this one right.
Yeah, he
Better.
lost 2 straight. He got to win.
He better.
All right, Bears.
Bills at Colts.
Buffalo.
Ugh, man.
It might get ugly. Yeah, I'm
gonna go Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Buffalo.
Week 1, 2, 3, Kansas City over Denver.
Yeah, Kansas City. Yeah.
Atlanta over New Orleans. I think we agree on that.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco at Tampa Bay.
San Fran. I'm going with San Fran.
What is San Fran's health wise?
We got like 9 players out, but Christian McCaffrey's supposed to come back this upcoming game.
Give me the 49ers, I guess.
Yeah, and then this is their bye week, so I guess they're just the get right week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 49ers.
I'll come back to the local teams real quick with the Commanders and Steelers, so hang on to that. Minnesota goes to Jacksonville. 1 o'clock.
Minnesota.
Yeah, that defense of Minnesota is pretty good. Give me Minnesota. Chargers at Titans. I think we go on Chargers there.
Yep. You sure?
Eagles at Dallas with no Dak. Yeah.
Oh,
Eagles, clearly.
That might get ugly.
Yes, it's gotta be that. Jets, Cardinals, guys. One of the games of the week. I'll be looking at this one.
I'm going with Arizona. I'm going Kyler.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing.
I like Arizona too, yo.
You know what? I love Kyler, but I should have picked the Jets last week. They had a little bit of a mini bye. I think this is going to be a shootout. I'm going Jets.
We shall see.
I can see this one. I can see this one.
Trae?
Oof. What? I said Arizona for this game.
Okay. Got Detroit at Houston on Sunday night. That should be fun.
Detroit.
Basketball.
Yeah, I can't.
Detroit basketball.
Real quick, speaking of Detroit.
They won. They
beat the Los Angeles Lakers tonight, Cravante. The Detroit Pistons beat the Los Angeles Lakers tonight.
Yeah. And guess who was in the building, Byron? The good brother Anton Daniels was sitting right in front, courtside, looking at LeBron James.
Really?
Yes, he really was, and he was talking trash to him.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice. I had to look at that.
Right before the presidential election. But anyway, I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah, same. I can't pick against them right now. The Rams host the Dolphins on Monday night. Do or die for probably Dolphins.
Ooh, man.
Rams.
What's the Rams? Is Puka? All right. No, he just got thrown out. He got thrown out last game.
Yeah, he got thrown out.
And he's going to be suspended for this game?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I don't think so. I'm going to go with Miami. I think Miami's going to win.
I am too, Raj. I'm going Miami too.
It's in LA. Is that turf? Is that turf or grass over there?
It's a beautiful field.
It's Hollywood.
Tyreek Hill can go crazy on.
I think Tyreek Hill and them might go crazy over there. I'm gonna go Miami.
Dre, you going with the Rams?
Yeah. I said that. I said the Rams from jump. Yeah.
Real quick, Browns, Packers, Raiders, and Seahawks have a bye. Let's get goofy, Cavante.
Go
Are you
before you get
ready?
goofy. We got to pick. Well, don't we?
Oh, well, yeah,
got
we got to put you on the spot, Cavante. Rams. Commanders, Steelers. I'm sorry. I don't know who I'm picking, but go ahead, Cavante. I'll put you on the spot.
I know who I'm picking.
Oh man,
I know who
You
I'm
going
going.
Commanders? You going Commanders?
I'm going
I,
with the Commanders, baby.
You just
I'm
you
going
know,
with Jaden Daniels in them.
play the
Yes,
song.
sir.
you know,
Those haters can't
Haters can't
stand
stand
us.
us. That's right. The Commanders. 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 We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders. That's what I'm going with. That's the pick.
um,
I'm
so
going with the Commanders.
okay, this is I got a lot in my head right now. So we play the Steelers on Sunday. We play the Eagles on Thursday. I want that Eagles game, but I don't think we're going to be both these teams. I don't think we're going to be both these teams. I'm going to pick the Steelers. However this game goes, if the Steelers win, I'm picking the Commanders on Thursday. If somehow we beat the Steelers, I'm leaning Eagles on Thursday.
I'm gonna look at it this way. If you lose against Pittsburgh on Sunday, you're gonna lose against the Eagles on Thursday because Pittsburgh's gonna beat you up.
Yeah, that's my thinking.
They're gonna whoop your ass into oblivion. So y'all better win on Sunday. Hopefully.
Not oblivion.
Please win. Please.
I'm with you, Cavante. I think you guys lose to the Steelers and beat the Eagles.
Yep,
think
that's
that's
what
how
I'm
it plays
going.
out?
So I'll say Steelers this week.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers as well. Just that coming off a bye, Mike Tomlin, then going against a quarterback. Just sometimes, just things happen. But we'll
So
see.
everybody but Unc is
If the
picking
Commanders win, I won't be.
everybody's picking the Steelers except Unc.
Yes. Everybody's
Yes.
picking the Steelers to 7. I'm going with the Commanders. I'm rolling with them.
Let's get goofy in here, Cavante, and get goofy before we get goofy tomorrow.
Gosh, something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy. Stupid. Just stupid. Jam. Mm-hmm. Oh, jam. Man. It's so much goofiness. Week to week, it seems like we get closer and closer to the end of the year. Things get more and more goofy, and we got the election, so throw that in there too. Quite a bit of goofies to get through. We had an hour 50. I'll do a couple of them. I mean, I do all of them, but I know. Welcome, good people, to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Only. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy this week. Quite a few things. So I'm gonna go with. Let's go with this one. I should have sent it to you earlier, Byron, but we have a Michael Thomas sighting. Now before I get into Michael Thomas, I deal with all levels and all forms of goofiness, whether it be high, low, in the middle. We talk about it, we figure it out, we try to figure out why so goofy, and what can we do to make things better. And for the low level goofies, we laugh at it and we keep moving in the hopes that it does not become a higher level of goofiness. But we had a Michael Thomas signing. Now, for those of y'all that don't remember, Michael Thomas was a pretty damn good possession receiver for the New Orleans Saints. And I ain't gonna hold you. I lost him. I didn't know where he was at, where he played, and he's not playing for the Saints no more. That's for sure. He's had quite a few posts on yes, he's had quite a few posts on Instagram, social media, and this is from the 33rd team. I'll read a couple of his tweets or X. Is it still called tweets? I don't know if it's still called tweets, but Michael Thomas, I quote, "They fired all them coaches trying to cover his flaws up. He's still doing the same shit. Dude tried to lie and say I was jealous of them making Chris Olave wide receiver number one whole time. He can't even get him a decent ball. He need his ass whooped." Next, that year his buddy went first team All Pro in 2022. He needed 180 targets just to catch 100 passes. He is ass on my granny. And let me just say, I'm just saying, putting stuff on your granny, on your mama, I think we should cut all that out. I think that's a lot. I mean, that's goofy in itself because your mama, your granny, they ain't had nothing to do with this wild stuff you talking about. And I don't think that's fair to be putting their lives in jeopardy for your goofiness. So basically, he's basically saying he been told us, quote unquote, about Derek Carr. My thing is, I like this quote. I mean, I like this comment right there. What team do you play for? Again, Mr. Glass. Because for somebody to be as non-existent as Michael Thomas was, still in the church's money, for him to be talking crazy about Derek Carr is kind of wild, because it seemed like Michael Thomas hit the twilight of his career and then vanished. Like his twilight wasn't even long. It was like the twilight hit and then it was over. Usually we see the downgrade, like, slowly but surely. We seen the player become a shell of themselves, and he barely played. So it's like the twilight of his career, he was on the sidelines. And I think it's just kind of crazy that he's coming sideways at Derek Carr / the New Orleans Saints, because, brother, you haven't helped them in how many years? Byron, when was the last time you remember Michael Thomas suiting up and being productive?
On the injury report.
He showed up. He showed up there. He definitely showed up there. So and you can see the comments to the on the side where's Michael Thomas now? He's a bum. Who cares? And Mr. Glass. I just think it's crazy that of all people, you haven't put anything. You ain't put no numbers on the board for New Orleans in quite some time, and I felt like you were stealing money. It is what it is. He's not the only one to do it, but he's one of the few goofies to actually talk crazy about a player who's still playing and still putting up numbers for the Saints and trying to get W's, and you are nowhere to be found. I don't even know if he officially retired yet, but I just think it's goofy for him to say something and you're not in a position to help, and you wasn't when you was here. Speaking for New Orleans, of course. Very, very, very goofy. So I don't know if you were aware, Byron, but Tyreek Stevenson, well, Byron, Dre, and Raj, and the good people. Tyreek Stevenson, for those of y'all that don't know or remember, he was a goofy last week because he was the guy who was showboating and talking to the fans in the Bears and Commanders game, man. Ended up being the one who hit the ball and that landed in Noah Brown's hands for that crazy ending to the game. So it was reported that basically he pulled himself out of practice this particular week after learning that he was demoted from being a starter for the upcoming game against the Cardinals. He said left practice. So it seems like he basically walked off the field. I guess once he found out that he wasn't starting against the Cardinals, he just walked off. I'm curious to know what that did to the locker room and what that did to the team as a whole. Because we went over the scores, they got their ass kicked, 29-9. And he walked off of practice. Yeah. Benched as discipline for viral video. I'm not even sure what that. Oh, the viral video of him being goofy at the end of the Commanders game. I think it's crazy. This is the generation and an era where folks don't really take accountability for their actions. And Tyreek Stevenson was very, very goofy in his actions that ended the game. And ultimately, he's a big reason why the Commanders escaped with a victory at home. And he got to take that on the chin. Like whatever the discipline actions is, or whatever the discipline actions are, he has to be able to take that on the chin. And if it's him being demoted, sitting out a half, sitting out a quarter, or sitting out whatever, you got to take that on the chin because you did that. Nobody told you to do that. You did that on your own. And walking out of practice is you further not taking accountability for your actions. And also you got to give some blame. I think you got to give some blame to Coach Eberflus, because what type of locker room are you running that, one, he feels like that's okay to do, and then those are the actions behind him doing something that's not okay. I don't know. I just think that's kind of goofy. I think that's kind of goofy if you ask me. So it'll be interesting to see what further disciplinary actions the Bears take with Mr. Stevenson moving forward. Next, we talked about this earlier. You sent me this, Byron, earlier as well. The Saints, New Orleans Saints, they outgained the Panthers by 150 yards, ran for 150 plus yards, and won the turnover battle. And over the last 20 years, teams have gone 275-0 with that formula. Now to 275-1, thanks to the Saints. And it's crazy because, usually in situations like that, when they lose, it's usually because, Derek Carr threw 3 picks. They had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. The Panthers got a defensive touchdown, and they kind of gave the ball away. But it was like, no, you just did not play well. Like, you really didn't do anything to get in your own way. You didn't do anything to stab yourself. You didn't do anything to hurt yourself, really. And you still came up short and still lost. This has got to be one of the wilder stats that's been brought up, because you lead in every statistical category except for the one that mattered on the scoreboard. If you were to just look at the box scores, you probably would have thought the Saints were what they won. But looking at the game, looking at the box scores, that's why the eye test matters. It's not the same thing. And the Panthers somehow pulled it out. Shout out to Bryce Young, but that got Dennis Allen his walking papers. Granted, I thought he's going to get his walking papers at the end of the year, but with the loss to the Panthers, arguably the worst team in the league, your walking papers are now. And Dennis Allen has become the second head coach this year to be relieved of his duties. And the last one, this is probably one of my favorite ones. I don't know if you knew about this one. So the post says Deontay Banks gives up another touchdown to his father, Terry McLaurin. Giants need to bench this dude again. So last year, Deontay Banks, and we did a profile on him, Byron, back when back in his draft. After the
Maryland
Giants,
guy.
yep, definitely local guy. The Giants beat the Commanders. It was last year, so I think last year we tied with them, and then the Giants won. So after the Giants game, Deontay Banks decided to go on IG Live and say F the Commanders, basically mad because we didn't draft them. He wasn't a fan of how the draft process went for him. I don't know if it was because they sold him a dream. Remember, this is the Ron Rivera era, so I don't know if they sold him the dream or what. But he said F the Commanders. This is the third defensive back that has done something goofy, said something goofy, and has had to eat those words. And typically via Terry McLaurin in all those situations, we have Deontay Banks, Tyreek Stevenson, and the other guy from the Bengals. I forgot his name. But this is the third cornerback / defensive back that has had to eat their words via Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels and this very effective offensive attack from the Commanders. Man, some guys just gotta shut up, man. Some guys just gotta shut up. And we like Banks. We thought Banks was good coming out of Maryland. It's unfortunate, things didn't fall how what Banks wanted, what the Commanders wanted wasn't aligned, and he seemed to have felt some kind of way. But for him to be goofy and get on live and all that stuff, it's just, again, a testament to the new generation of lack of accountability and a high visibility of goofiness. And that's what Deontay Banks was, a very high level of goofiness, even though it was a year later, very high level of goofiness. But those are my goofies of the week. New Orleans Saints, Deontay Banks, Tyreek Stevenson, and Michael Thomas. I know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great. And all these brothers on the wrong end of it. Gots to do better.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy. Stupid. Just stupid. Jam. Oh, jam. Yep.
And that is pretty much all we got for you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. Jersey Dre, any final words, and what can people expect next week for?
Next week, I believe we have a guest on. My final words would be, "Don't Trump America, y'all."
Yes. Raj, what can the people expect? Tomorrow we'll be here.
I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow, man. You'll be looking at a couple of videos. I guess surfing the web to see what people are talking about. See the pulse of the country, see who's freaking out, see who's not. It should be fun. It should be pretty hilarious. But yeah, man. If you haven't voted, go vote. Election day is tomorrow, so pretty important for the country. And whoever you vote for, that's your business. I don't really care. But stay safe. Don't do anything stupid.
Yes.
And keep God first.
Shoot, voting is a couple hours.
Cravante baby.
Okay, Trae.
How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I participated in early voting, which I don't know why I really didn't do this before. Like, I will never vote on election day ever again. Like, what? I voted over a week ago. Like, this is crazy. So that's how I will be voting moving forward. Early voting. But those of y'all, if you haven't and you want to go out there and be with all the goofies on election day, go do that. Just be safe. Handle yourself with some professionalism and some courtesy and respect. That I think that's what we can hope for and pray for, and be safe out there, because daylight saving time hit. It's getting dark out there a little bit early, and yeah, that's all I got. Go Commanders, and check us out tomorrow, because it's gonna be some goofiness going on, man. I promise you. Even though that we're not gonna get the results tomorrow, but just to see things unfold, come to the Flex Zone to find out.
Hey, I'll be voting tomorrow. I'm just going to get up early, vote, and get it out the way.
Yeah, I'll be voting tomorrow evening, so I'll be amongst the people.
But where I'm at, Cravante, it's okay to vote the day of the election. It'll be an in and out process.
Cool.
Whatever that means.
It means nobody's going to be where I'm at.
No, nobody. Hey, man, there's pockets. There's pockets, because they got voting spots all over. So if you in a pocket where you can be in and out 15 minutes, hey, man, do your thing. Just be safe, man. Don't be out there all late trying to vote.
No, that's the worst time.
Yes. Join us. Got something pretty much every day this week. Flex Zone podcast was tonight. Big shout out again to the good brother, Trae's frat brother, the one and only political analyst who joined us again, Mr. Trae Lord. Put your hands together for one more time. Big up to Trae. Thank you again for joining us. We'll have him back to recap how this plays out all the way down to Texas. So thank him again for staying up late with us. Tomorrow we will be recapping the election. Probably after 10 to see how things play out, where everyone is. We'll have a lot of people here that want to join us, want to be part of this. And we're doing this for you, informing people, updating you on the results. Probably have some live stream video incorporated like we did with the debate of maybe an ABC, a CNN, a CBS, Fox, of what they're talking about, getting the pulse of the country, getting some updates on not only the presidential race, but some local races and results that have a lot of impact on the next 4 years as well. Wednesday we got AEW Dynamite and NXT, so both shows on at the same time. We're going to watch both, or I'm going to try to watch both. We're going to talk about it, be live with you. And then on Thursday, the Ravens play. Raj and myself will be live afterwards for the Ravens post-game show. So look for that late Thursday night, early Friday morning. And then on Friday, we'll probably be here again for SmackDown as well. So join us. Stay tuned as well. And then next week, back with another flagship podcast. And on Sunday, Cavante and myself will be live. Commanders, Steelers, post-game, and giving you all the week 10 recap and reactions, as well as a preview from Cavante coming sometime this week as well. We got a Maryland basketball preview up. We got Ravens preview coming this week. We got so much good stuff coming in store. And of course, on the road to Full Gear and Survivor Series as well. So your ones up, acknowledge us to the Sports Podcast table. Twitter, Instagram, Flex on One. Facebook, the Flex on One, Flex on Podcast on TikTok. And the Flex on One at gmail.com. Only place to give you sports how you want to tell us.
When you need it.
Executive producer, Andre Melton. Appreciate you, brother. And a senior producer, co-founder, Devontae Hurd, the commander lawyer, and a social media guy making the streams pristine, Big Raj. God's favorite host, yours truly, social producer. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Hit the like button on the way out. Let us know your thoughts. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you joining us. If you're just tuning in, make sure you check out all of the banter from early in the show. We talked about the election, got the opinion, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow. We'll be here live. We'll have a fun time, a watch party with you. Talk about, if you want to tell us who you voted for, you want to tell us how you're feeling, how things are playing out, all that and more. Speak to everybody, and we can't wait to see what happens. So Dre, Devontae, Rod, and myself, we're getting out of here. I got to vote tomorrow. I got to work and vote tomorrow. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Hit the bell. Sign off down below. Flex Zone Podcast. Thank you guys for all the support and comments. Drop your comment if you're watching this later in the comment section, emoji, whatever you got. And we'll see you tomorrow for presidential election results live on the Flex Zone or whatever they got for us after 10 p.m. So have a good night, everybody. Stay safe. Go vote if you haven't already. Have a good night. Peace. Thanks for watching.